this guy, it's 21-year-old who revealed all these military secrets. I think his name is pronounced Teixeira. I think it's Portuguese name or Spanish name. I don't know, but I believe it's pronounced Teixeira. He's 21 years old, served in the Massachusetts Air National Guard, and he was arrested yesterday, of course, Thursday, in connection with this leak of classified documents that once again has shown that the United States, we spy on everybody, our allies and our enemies alike. The Attorney General of the United States, he who will not charge Donald Trump with any goddamn thing, he said that Teixeira would be charged with the unauthorized removal of classified national defense information. Why, that sounds very similar to what the Orange Nazi did. But the Orange Nazi hasn't been charged with anything by our Attorney General, right? Anyway, this guy apparently, as part of his duties, and I don't get this. 21-year-old, I've got food in my refrigerator older than that. All right, clothes in my closet older than that. But he had access to highly classified information. Why? When asked how such a young dude could have had access to highly sensitive documents, a spokesman for the Pentagon, a brigadier general said it was the nature of the military to trust its very young service members with high and sometimes grave levels of responsibility, including high levels of security clearance. Well, General, I have an idea. Why don't you fucking stop doing that? A 21-year-old? Now, the military added, the rationale for doing that. They said, well, soldiers fresh out of high school went to fight in Iraq and Afghanistan and other combat zones for a generation, using top secret intelligence and programs to target adversaries. Yeah, but they're expendable. That's why they go into a combat. General, it doesn't matter about those people. You know it. I know it. It's just something we never talk about. But somebody who stays back in the States and has access to this kind of information, 21 years old? The Brigadier General said this at a press briefing, quote, "We entrust our members with a lot of responsibility at a very early age. Think about a young combat platoon sergeant and the responsibility and trust that we put into those individuals to lead troops into combat," end quote. General, you don't give a rat's ass about those troops, or you wouldn't send them into combat. I mean, come on. I know that's on a philosophical level much higher than what you normally consider when you send people to go kill or die. But that's the truth. You know damn good and well when people are sent into combat that a certain percentage of them, sometimes a very high percentage, are not going to come back. They'll be dead. But a 21-year-old charged with top secret information, highly sensitive, are you kidding me? Anyway, this guy, this Teixeira, if I'm pronouncing his name right, was in a chat group called Thug Shaker Central. And apparently, according to the Associated Press, this guy was known as OG. OG, as in, oh God. OG. And they had roughly 25 people in this group who talked about their favorite types of guns and shared racist, homophobic crap. The group also included, according to the Associated Press, a running discussion on wars that included talk of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And in that discussion, this OG would post material for months that he said was classified. And what he did, he would look at the documents, then type it into the chat room himself with his own notations about what he was putting there. And then a few months ago, he switched to posting images of folded up papers because he felt his writings weren't being taken seriously, according to one of the people in this group who decided to speak to the authorities. And what else? A different participant in the group shared some of the files several weeks ago in a different chat group, and from there is where they appear to have been spread across the internet. And a couple of people in this group who have now spoken to media organizations said that Teixeira was constantly talking about God and what God's will might be for the United States. Well, I can imagine that there was other stuff about this crazy bastard's. See, this is the thing about a 21-year-old, especially if he comes from a hardcore Christian family, which this guy apparently did. Your brain has been so polluted with Christian fascist apocalyptic bullshit that if you are given the idea that you may hold the key to bringing Jesus back, because so many of these Christian fascists believe that all Jesus is waiting for is apocalypse, horror, nuclear war, destruction on a scale never seen before. And that will make Jesus so happy and God so celebratory that Jesus will come back. And all the dead Christians will come scrabbling out of their coffins and their cremation urns and rise up to heaven. I mean, this is some sick shit. Come on. But this is what Christian fascists are taught. It's what they believe. And God help us, it may be what they try to make come to pass. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.